Since independence in 1960, Nigeria has designed and implemented various government strategies towards the development of rural areas. But despite the huge resources expended, the efforts have not achieved the desired impact. There's still notable disparity and lopsidedness in infrastructures and level of poverty between the rural and urban areas in Nigeria. The rural population has limited access to services like schools, health centers, safe drinking water and sanitation, and good roads. Poverty is also endemic in many of the rural communities. Therefore, community development in a broad concept has been applied to practices of civil leaders, involved citizens, professionals, among many others, to improve various aspects of the communities. The Community and Social Development Project, CSDP, is an initiative of the federal government of Nigeria in partnership with the World Bank. It has an ambitious vision, which is to mobilize resources, improving skills and knowledge to promote community-driven development for the positive impact on the poor and vulnerable in Nigeria.
This is an initiative of the federal government of Nigeria with support from the World Bank, and it targets alleviation of poverty in rural poor communities,
especially those in very remote rural areas. And of late, this has been increased to also include the people that have been internally displaced in the northeast of Nigeria, particularly in the areas affected by the Boko Haram crisis.
For the purpose of the project, there are criteria set for communities who wish to participate. A community can send a proposal as long as it is rural and follows the existing state government classifications of areas designated as rural, semi-urban, and urban. A community can send a proposal if it lacks infrastructure or social amenity that falls within the projects normally financed, or if the existing ones are in state of disrepair or are inadequate in meeting community requirements.
After their expression of interest, the CSDP now goes to the community to sensitize them. And after sensitizing them, we go for what we call PRA, which is just like a needs assessment, where the entire community come out to tell us so many things about the communities and what are their problems. We now, with the community, prioritize these problems by themselves selecting, or rather doing election by the community. That is the first, that's another thing. After that, they will now go to their area council in case of FCT, and if it is in the state, they go to the local government.
The community must also be willing to contribute to the financing of the micro project in the community development project. In the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria, for example, the FCT Area Council Service Secretariat says there are over 850 rural communities, according to available statistics, that are in need of rapid development. The FCT is among the 30 states that are participating in this project.
After the approval, the CSDP will also train the members of the committees, the main committee and the subcommittees, how to handle the projects. After that, the CSDP will start funding. But before funding, the community must also have their 10% contribution in their own account, which they have registered. They would have registered with the area council, and the area council would give them a letter of registration as an association. They will use that to register, to open an account. They will give us statement of account to show that they have the 10% contribution of the total cost of their project. And that will make them to be committed, because the projects that they're going to execute now, their own money is there, and they will be the one to execute the project. You cannot see that they will own such kind of a project. So some of those criteria and the simple way And when they do the work, we give money in tranches to be sure that we make sure that the project actually goes.
Many experts see community development typically as efforts aimed at building stronger and more resilient local communities. They see community development as a process where community members come together to take collective action and generate solutions to common challenges affecting them. The CSDP, therefore, is offering a different approach to community development, and it is working because it has impacted many communities in the country and the Federal Capital Territory.
The bug, as it were, has caught up with so many countries in the world, not just developing countries, and there are spectacular results to show for the involvement of people in determining what they apply resources of government to do to improve their lives.
The partnership between the Nigerian government and the World Bank is not a new concept. Governments of many developing countries have worked with professionals to promote participative democracy, sustainable development, to promote equal opportunity, equality, and social justice through the empowerment of communities, especially those at the rural areas. So, the World Bank, through the CSDP, strongly advocates and encourages the concept of community-driven development, CDD.
It means that the whole development that we'll expect in poor areas will be driven by the community members themselves. They will be in the driver's seats. As simply put, they will decide what are the things they would like to do, what are their priorities. They will plan it, design it, and finally implement it to the extent that they will monitor it, including monitoring the utilization, to make sure that it eventually yields true in terms of helping them to improve their welfare.
And it's a way of diffusing and decentralizing development such that multitude of development activities can go on at the same time in very, very nodal, many nodal points of community development across a nation.
Experience has shown that when given clear and transparent rules, access to information, and appropriate technical and financial support, poor communities can effectively organize to identify community priorities and address local problems.
The first challenge was there was no poverty map in FCT. And there was no way we could start the project without a poverty map because the project is poverty focused. So we have to produce that. That's one of the challenges. Then the two, we have to do revalidation and start new PRA, Participating Rural Appraiser, to start the work. And we had serious challenge. People never believed us that from the 10% contribution. And actually some communities might not be able to produce the 10% of their project. And by the design, they have to put that. So 10% was actually a problem.
Then the other challenge that is there is that some communities are so remote, and getting assistance to them is a bit of a difficulty. Even when the assistance are gotten to them, the way the cost of doing things escalates, they are not able to quickly finish many of the infrastructure to be able to provide them the services.
The design of CSDP is such that it is state loan. The facility is taken by the state government. And the federal government maintains a slim secretariat at the federal level, at the Federal Project Support Unit. And we are servicing, as we speak today, 30 participating states. 2 more states are about to join the project. So we maintain a lean secretariat, and we are servicing a large number of space. So we have capacity issues. Most of my staff at the federal level are actually overworked. From the national coordinator to the lister were actually overworked. We still long hours to ensure that the needs of the state agencies that we are managing their funds, we are managing funds on their behalf, are met.
capacity building is very essential, more especially even at the community level, because those people are going to manage their project. Nobody will manage the project for them. It's not a kind of project that you go there and do and go. No, it's a project that they are the ones to manage, execute and manage the project, as well as sustain the project itself. So definitely they need capacity to do that. Then even at the area council level, again, there are people that are supposed to vet all the requests from the communities and so on. They too, they need to have their capacity developed before they do that.
The CPMCs, which are the community project management committees that are established, elected by members of the community to manage resources that the government is going to put at their disposals, are trained on the basic elements of procurement, of monitoring and evaluation, project management, reporting, supervision, sustainability, even at the community level. So we train them. At the local government level, capacity building is key for the local government development officer, for the local government review committee, what we call the LGRC, and officials of the local government. At the state government level, capacity building is key. We train all the MDAs, the desk officers in all our ministries, departments, and agencies on how to do field appraisal, for example, what is the element of CDD, how to carry out field appraisal to appraise all the proposals that come from the communities, and how to monitor and evaluate projects under the World Bank, how to write reports and all that. So it's very, very key. Our intervention has spanned, as I mentioned, about 30 states of the Federation as we speak. And we have been able to do what we call the micro projects. We have community development plans, we call CDP for communities. We have group development plan for group of people vulnerable people, disabled people, for example. So, and each of these two groups have what we call micro projects in them. So each CDP, community development plan, and each GDP have minimum of 2 micro projects.
Kuje Area Council tops the list with 55 projects in its community development plans and 9 projects in its group development plans, totaling 64 projects. Kwali Area Council has 38 projects in its community development plans and 17 projects in its group development plans, totaling 55 projects. Wari has 36 projects in its community development plans and 8 projects in its group development plans, totaling 44 projects. Obaje has 26 projects in its community development plans and 11 projects in its group development plans, totaling 37 projects. Gwagwalada has 25 projects in its community development plans and 4 projects in its group development plans, totaling 29 projects. Abuja Municipal Area Council has 18 projects in its community development plans and 6 projects in its group development plans, totaling 24 projects.